Most of us are taught to chase success. It's the metric we can see, right? It's the one that gets all the rewards. But what if there is a more sustainable, a more meaningful way to build a life and a career? Today, we're going to look beyond just success and explore this really profound idea of significance.
And this quote it draws such a powerful distinction, doesn't it? See, success is all about getting access. It's about being seen. But significance, that's about your impact, your legacy. One is basically a transaction. The other is a total transformation.
This is a question that I think lands really heavily for a lot of high achievers out there. There's this strange paradox, right, of these brilliant people who've built these incredibly successful lives that they quietly and sometimes deeply just don't like. They've become masters of the what and the how, but somewhere along the way, they completely lost the why. And this is the feeling that really defines that whole state. It's a specific kind of exhaustion that, sleep just can't fix. It's the kind of burnout that comes from optimizing your entire life for the wrong thing, from winning a game you suddenly realize you never even wanted to play. So, all of this brings us to what you could call the success mirage. It's this illusion that just moving forward is the same thing as making progress, that momentum is the same as meaning. Let's kind of break down why that's so often a trap. So when you put them side by side, the contrast is, well, it's pretty sharp. Success is measurable, it's linear, it's constantly comparing itself to others. Am I faster? Am I bigger? Am I more visible? It's a performance. But significance, that's totally different. It's sustainable, it's gravitational. It doesn't need to compare, it just embodies principles. It's not about performing, it's about becoming. And this right here is the core problem. When you chase success just for its own sake, for the title, for the number on a spreadsheet, for the validation, it's an empty pursuit. It's almost designed to be temporary, always demanding that next win to feel real again. This is that quiet, absolutely devastating question that so many high achievers are just terrified to ask themselves. You hit the target, right? You launch the thing, you get the promotion, the emails and the congratulations, they stop coming in. And then you're just left alone with the silence, asking yourself, what was all that for? Well, that emptiness, it eventually leads to a turning point, a moment of reckoning. It's that moment when the numbers and the KPIs you've lived your life by just suddenly stop making any sense, and the true cost of that whole pursuit becomes painfully, painfully clear. Fluent in metrics, but mute in meaning. That's the realization that you can speak the language of spreadsheets and growth charts and quarterly reports perfectly, but you've forgotten how to connect with the things that actually matter, to yourself and to the people around you. And then a quote like this one from Dov Seidman can feel like a mirror being held up to your face. It's that moment of clarity where you finally understand that success isn't the target. It's just the byproduct of aiming for something much, much bigger. Okay, so if the old model is broken, what's the new one? This is where we shift from just talking about the problem to looking at the solution. It's about exploring a whole new way of thinking about leadership and impact. It's about moving from a linear path to a gravitational one. See, linear success is all about pushing forward, but gravitational leadership, that's about pulling people in. And you don't do this through force or commands or authority. You do it through the sheer force of your consistency, your integrity, and the principles you actually live by. People just choose to be in your orbit. So what do these gravitational leaders really focus on? Well, it's not speed. It's the quality of their movement. They optimize for integrity, making sure their words and actions actually line up. For trust, which is the bedrock of all real innovation. For clarity, which is a huge act of respect for their team. And for continuity. They're building things that are meant to outlast them. And this really gets to the core of it all. True influence, real authority, it isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about that performative leadership we see so much of. It's earned in the thousands of small, consistent, principled decisions you make when you think no one is watching. It is all in the how. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds a little soft for the world we live in. But here's the thing. In our current age of automation and AI, this shift isn't just a nice to have. It's become a critical competitive advantage. And here's the crucial point. AI and automation, they can replicate processes. They can achieve efficiency at a scale we humans just can't compete with. That game is over. The new frontier, the real human advantage, is the ability to create belief, to build trust, to inspire meaning. You just can't automate that.
So it gives us this kind of new formula to think about. Significance isn't just one thing. It's a multiplier. It's your impact, so what you do, times your integrity, how you do it, times longevity, how long it continues to matter after you're gone. And just notice, if any one of those is zero, the entire result is zero. Ultimately, this whole journey from success to significance, it really comes down to a personal choice. It happens in that little pause between two competing instincts that I think exist in all of us, the need to achieve and the deep desire to matter. The shift starts to feel real when your own internal questions begin to change. You start moving from, how do I win, to what do I want to stand for? You stop being so focused on how do I grow my reach, and you start asking whose lives am I actually improving? And that changes absolutely everything. This might just be the simplest and most powerful summary of this entire idea. Success is an endpoint. It's a personal achievement, and it's finite. But significance is a starting point. It's the momentum you create in other people that continues to ripple outward long, long after you're gone.
And so we'll end with the question that this entire idea is built around. A question for you to just sit with for a little bit. Are you chasing metrics that die with the quarter, or are you building meaning that compounds over time? Because the leaders who are going to define the next decade, they won't be the ones who just build successful companies. They'll be the ones who build lives and teams and cultures of lasting significance.